Okay, welcome to Oracle of the Divine Ophite. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that. And also, if anything in this video resonates for you, please like the video and share it with others if you feel it might be beneficial to someone else in your life. So, this is a collective reading, so it might not resonate for everyone. But if you found this video, that means there's probably something of value here for you. So without further ado, I'll get started. I've already pre-shuffled and done an initial layout to meditate on the cards and get a message to start out with, and then we'll do some more clarification from there if necessary. So what I'm getting here is a big message to someone out there who's used to playing by the rules. This is a person that throughout their lives, they've been pretty traditional. Now, this is the interesting part, because this person, in their mind and in their heart, they're actually not very traditional. But what they've been dealing with is situations where they felt the need to force themselves to conform to certain situations in order to make other people happy. So family members, work situations, community situations, whatever. But this person has kind of put up I'll call it a facade. It's not a complete facade, because this person hasn't been lying or deceiving anyone really, but this person has just been not showing the completeness of who they are because of social pressure or economic pressure. So take that how it resonates. For some people, it could be pressure from work or pressure, to conform in order not to lose money or lose income. For other people, it could be just pressure, social pressure, pressure from the family, pressure from friend groups, social groups. So just, as a protective mechanism, trying to fit in order, to protect the self from harm or ostracization or, things like that. So anyway, the big message here is it's time to stop doing that. Because in doing that, this person has been playing small. This person has been, missing a big picture about, their lives, their spiritual path, what they're supposed to be doing with their life, and the impact that they can have on the world and on themselves if they stop conforming to this character. So, the big message here is to kind of, shrug off tradition. This is a point in life to really, really let go of tradition and be a bit of a rebel, be a bit of a standout, be a bit of a nonconformist. This person should strive to, be as authentic as they possibly can, to be as, even if that's going to be shocking in some way to other people, be as shocking and authentic as you possibly can at this time. This person has spent a lot of time sacrificing and spent a lot of time really worried about, how not fitting in the world would negatively affect them. And what's actually happened is, the opposite of what they're thinking, would happen if they stop this conformist attitude. So by not conforming anymore, by not trying to fit in, by not worrying about what other people think about them, they're actually going to blow up. They're going to be really huge. They're going to be really successful by not conforming to what they believe everybody has always expected them to conform to. Actually conforming in the past has brought this person a bit of bad luck in some ways. The wheel has not always spun in their favor, and the reason for that is because energetically the wheel spins for you when you're being your authentic self. This is how the energy matches up. It's like vibration matches vibration. So if you're suppressing parts of yourself, if you are trying to conform to other people's standards, to other people's expectations, it actually pushes things out of alignment. The Wheel of Fortune is all about alignment. It's all about things lining up. What seems random is actually not random at all. The spin of the wheel seems like it's a random occurrence, but what it actually is something that's very energetically connected to the vibration and the frequency and the energy that you are putting out. So that is what actually spins the wheel in your favor. So by putting out your authentic self, by not conforming to expectations, you're going to spin the wheel back in your favor. And this person's had a bit of bad luck throughout their lives by trying to make other people happy, by trying to, do what they think is expected of them instead of doing what they really wanted to do in their heart of hearts. So it's time for that to stop. The message here is to, just please stop doing that now. No more sacrificing. No more, the period of sacrifice is done. The hangman turned the other way is, sacrifice that is actually necessary. This is unnecessary sacrifice. This is like your period of sacrifice is finished. You've paid your dues. You've done all that you need to do in that regard. Now it's time for you to do you. It's time for you to do something for you. So flip that sacrifice on its head. Stop sacrificing. Start doing what you really want to do. Start being the real you. Start being the authentic you. Stop worrying about what other people think of you. This is actually, going to bring abundance instead of chasing abundance away. I'm also sensing here that you've come to this conclusion because you've actually mastered your perception of the material world. You've started to understand that the material world is not a trap. It's actually just a blessing. You've started to understand that if you want to bring material blessings to you, you have to loosen your grip. You have to stop worrying so much about money and material possessions, and you have to just give your energy, give your authentic energy freely. And by giving that authentic energy freely, you're actually going to bring more material abundance into you. It's exactly the opposite of what most people think. Most people think that by holding on to their riches, by holding on to their material possessions tightly and suffocating themselves with their own material possessions, that they're actually going to be able to hold on to material abundance by doing that, when the exact opposite is true. By loosening your grip on the material world, you actually get more. It's very counterintuitive, but that's actually the way energy works. The more energy you give, the more open you are with the energy, the more energy comes back to you. And financial, resources are just another form of energy. Material abundance is just another form of energy. It's just energy that has materialized into solid form, like money and coins and houses and cars and whatever. So, but it's still just energy. So when you start to recognize that by you giving of your authentic self, you're going to you can actually get that different form of energy, that material abundance in return. That's going to start happening for you. But once again, the key message here is that you really, really have to get rid of these traditional ideas about the way you must function in society, or the way your family structures, your relationship structures, your work structure, whatever it happens to be that's trapping you in this traditionalist mentality. That needs to be flipped on its side. That needs to be flipped on its head now. I'm getting also the sense that I'm getting another energy here, and I'm actually getting that this energy, and this is probably a person in your life. They could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This person has a very unbalanced energy. They seem to kind of spill this unbalanced energy onto you. This might be a person that's actually contributing to the pressure that you're feeling to kind of do things in these more traditional ways, or to kind of be a little bit fearful of stepping outside of the box. You could have this person in your ear kind of, giving you the ideas, subconsciously that if you step out of line, there might be failure involved in that, or there might be some sort of, risk involved in that. This person is not someone that you should be paying attention to. Actually, they should be paying attention to you. They should be following your lead, because you're coming into a period in life where you're going to bust out of the confines of these traditional ideas, beliefs, and roles. You're going to break out of that. This person needs to break out of that as well. But instead, they're afraid of what will happen if you break out of it. So they're trying to kind of keep you in the same entrapped mentality that they've been trapped in for a very, very long time, probably for their entire lives. So this is a time to just listen to yourself. You're very healed. You've spent a really big amount of time over the past few years really, really healing yourself, and really, really getting to a point where you're ready to step out as the butterfly that you've become. And, it's time for you to spread your wings. It's time for you to really, go out there and be the best you can be, without confines, without these restraints that you felt in the past, without these ideas that you're going to somehow be punished for being yourself, or for going against the grain, or for stepping outside of the box. You're not going to be punished for that. You're actually going to be rewarded for it. I'm going to pull a few more cards to get some more clarification on this message. Okay, so the first card that popped up was sorrow. So what I'm getting from that is that, there actually is, there's a little bit of, let's say, regret, or maybe a little bit of sadness involved with leaving the old you behind. It's like there were a lot of things that came from your previous life, or your previous expression of consciousness, and your previous expression of who you are, that actually, brought some relationships to you. It brought some situations to you that you actually have grown quite attached to, and you've actually you have had some, what you perceive as benefits from behaving in these traditional ways, and you feel a bit sad at the thought of letting this go, or letting some of these people, these situations. You feel a little bit of sadness at letting this go. But the idea here, the message here, is that this is not, it's not a loss. It mustn't be taken as a loss. It's kind of like when, you're in high school and you're about to graduate, and you have all these friends, and you have all these, the clubs and all the things that you were involved in, and that that's coming to an end, because you're going to go move on to something much bigger and better and greater. But you're still feeling a little bit sad at the people that you're going to leave behind, and the situations and the teachers and all the stuff that you're going to leave behind. Some people obviously are happy to leave high school, but there are some people that actually really enjoy high school. And, the same thing could be said for university, or, anything that you graduate. So this is a situation where you're actually graduating. So you're going to feel a little bit of sorrow at moving on to this next big stage in your life, but it's very necessary. And the happiness that's going to come from moving on to this new you, this new expression of you, is just going to be so wonderful, that any sense of loss or sorrow, excuse me, it's not going to really mean anything in the end, because the benefits of moving out of this traditionalist, this conforming that you've been doing, are, the benefits are going to be so great that you're not going to feel the sorrow anymore. You're going to recognize that whatever you lose by doing this is going to be so much bigger and better than whatever you were holding on to in the past. I'm also getting that the things that are real are going to stay with you. So anybody in your life that's real relationships that you have where people actually really know the real you, they know what you're really about, those people are going to stay with you. Those people are going to continue to walk with you. So anything that goes away, even though you might be emotionally attached to it, if it goes away and disappears just because you stop conforming to some like image or idea, then that thing wasn't real. That thing wasn't meant for you anyway. So don't feel sad about that. Be thankful that the unreal nature of that situation or that relationship has been exposed to you and that you're moving on from it. I'm going to pull another card. Let's see what else we can get here. Okay, and again, things just need to be done moment to moment. You just need to take your time in this situation. You need to just take it step by step. Sometimes it's difficult to step out of an entire life that's been created around a certain idea or a certain thing that you've been conforming yourself to or fitting yourself into. So breaking out of that takes a little bit of time. So it's something to do inch by inch, step by step. Don't feel like you need to do everything all at once. Don't feel like, it's not like one day you're, one day you're a nun and the next day you're a rock and roll star. It's not that type of a transformation. It's kind of like you're just becoming the real you step by step. And so, start small. Don't feel like you need to just completely blow up everything all at once. Just, come out free, natural, take it really easy. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't feel like there's a rush, because there's not a rush. There's never a rush. There's always enough time. There's always enough time in life for our development and our spiritual development into who we really are. So once again, don't forget to live in the moment. Don't forget to cherish every moment of who it is you're becoming. Okay. And also, one thing that can really, really help with this transformation is your receptivity to new ideas. So you'll find as you open up more and as you become more yourself, there are going to be situations and people approaching you that maybe didn't approach you in the past. Maybe you didn't have access to these situations in the past because you weren't putting out those energies, you weren't putting out those specific vibrations to bring those experiences and those people into your life. Now that you are putting out those vibrations and those frequencies, you'll find that you're going to start meeting new kinds of people. You're going to start encountering, new ideas. And you need to be receptive to those ideas, because there might have been a tendency in the past to reject certain things, reject certain experiences or certain people or certain ideas because they were too outside of, what you are identifying with as being who you are. So if these ideas and these people didn't fit into that bubble or that certain structure that you had created for yourself, it was like instant rejection, like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to spend time with that person or those people. this is definitely a time to be more open and more receptive to new experiences, new people, new ideas, new ways of doing things. So there's a lot of opportunity here for adventure. There's a lot of opportunity for you to actually experience things that maybe you've always been curious about or you've always wondered about, but maybe there's been a little bit of fear there holding you back from having these experiences or going and doing these things. So the opportunity's there now to actually escape that and go and do these things. You're an adventurous person anyway. You're a naturally adventurous person. And this sense of adventure that you've been kind of stuffing down deep inside of you because it was seen as a threat, that's probably going to be the biggest part of you opening up and now becoming this new version of you. So, and then also this influence that's around you, this kind of unbalanced influence that's around you, that's constantly kind of trying to talk you out of things or kind of giving. It's not even necessarily that this person tries to talk you out of things. It's more that they are so afraid themselves. They're so kind of like they're not someone that's very open-minded to new experiences. So when someone around them tries to open up to new experiences, it makes them nervous because they feel like they might actually get dragged into the new experience somehow, or they grew up in an environment where people were always telling them like, oh no, don't do that, that's dangerous, oh no, you shouldn't do that, people will think this about you if you do that. It's kind of that's their general mentality, and they're unconsciously passing that on to other people. So, and take this how it resonates. This could be an actual person in your life that's having this effect, or it could be a little voice in your head that maybe comes from somewhere in your past or someone in your family that kind of imposed those kinds of ideas or beliefs onto you, either intentionally or unintentionally. So the biggest challenge of this situation is going to be overcoming those little voices that just nag at you and tell you that you can't, or tell you that there's going to be consequences, or that's too risky, or don't try to do that won't work. That's going to be the biggest challenge in this situation. That's going to be the biggest challenge to breaking this traditional mindset and this conformist mindset, is just getting around those voices and those people, like the naysayers, but the naysayers around us in actual material reality, and also the naysayers in your own head. That's going to be the big challenge. So if you can do that, then there's a lot of opportunity for new experience, and just a lot of opportunity to go out, have fun, and really, really spiritually grow, really grow as a person. I'm going to pull one more card for general advice, and let's kind of switch up here. I'll do some tea leaves. So the general overall advice I'm getting here is that, there's a little bit of cleanup to be done. There's a little bit of stuff to be worked out on the practical level, just to get ready to kind of launch yourself into this new adventure. But you've got it handled. You already know what direction you want to go in. You already know what needs to be done in order for you to create the life that you want to create. Finally, after all this time of creating a life that just really didn't seem to fit you or fit who you really are, who you actually are as a person. So you've had a lot of time to think about the steps that you should take in order to create a life around you that fits who you really are in your soul and in your heart of hearts. And so there's just, like some loose ends to tie up, so to speak. There's a few little things that you need to do in order to just get yourself on that path, to just, set yourself up to take those next steps. And you already know. Like you've spent so much time thinking about this. You've spent so much time working it out in your own mind. And now is the time to take the steps that you've worked out in your mind and put them into play, put them into actual reality so that they can manifest and they can become hard facts in your life. So just, make sure that you're very methodical at this time. Make sure that, that this is not a time to be floaty or to be like loosey-goosey, go with the flow. This is a time to be determined. This is a time to, like I said, you don't need to be rushed, but you do need to be focused and you need to be determined, and you need to make sure that there's no one or thing that can stop you on this new path that you've decided to embark upon. Because there will be obstacles thrown up in front of you. As soon as you decide to go against that grain, people and situations are going to test your resolve. They're going to test you to make sure that you're really serious and that you're really steadfast in what you're trying to do. So just make sure that you're prepared and make sure that you're really strong in the direction that you want to go in, and don't let anybody or anything deviate you from that direction. But like I said, you already know the steps you need to take. You already know the direction that you need to go in. So just go with it, get started, and just be strong and head in the direction that you want, and don't waver. And I think that I'm going to leave it there. That's all I'm getting. I'm not getting the urge to pull any more cards. So if anything in this reading resonated with you, please like this video. And like I said, feel free to share it if you feel that it might be helpful to someone else that you know. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thanks for joining me today. I hope that this reading has had some positive effect on you and that you were able to pull something valuable from it. And I look forward to the next one. So see you soon, and bye-bye.